Well, there's the argument, and we can ask, is the argument valid? And in fact, maybe it's a good idea for you to test the little logic that we learned so far and see whether this in fact is valid according to the rules of inference that we've considered. But it is a valid argument. The conclusion does follow. Now, that's not good enough to make the argument sound, right? Because if it's going to be sound, it has to have all true premises. Now, are all those premises true? I don't want to say that yet, but look, it's not obvious that any of those premises were false. They all seem pretty plausible, pretty believable, pretty acceptable. They sounded like they ought to be right. Now you got to ask yourself, is skepticism about future contingent truths plausible? Right? It is a form of skepticism, not the one that we're trying to get up to, but a form of skepticism. And, the obvious answer is yes. It does seem to be believable. There seems to be a case to be made. We might have started out before listening to this series of videos thinking, gee, that's skepticism. That is the absolute craziest idea that I have ever heard of. But now that we've seen this argument, and it's pretty plain that it's valid, and it's certainly not obvious which of the premises, if any, is false. So it really looks like we've made a pretty good case for certain kind of skepticism. But that leads us on to thinking about another kind of skepticism. And let me just start getting to it in this way. There are religious people who take the Bible to be literally true. And part of what they take to be true is that the earth was created about 5,000, probably closer to 6,000, 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. Now, you're probably thinking, well, okay, skepticism about the future might be plausible. Where are you going with this? And just sit back and take a look at this.